All right, let's dive deep into international business today.
Sounds good.
We're looking at Doing International Business. It's a practical guide and workbook by Frederick L. Anderson.
Ah, great choice.
This book, I'll be honest, it's massive. But don't worry, we'll break it down.
Yeah.
We'll pull out the most important parts, the stuff you really need to know.
Perfect.
It's like a roadmap, to navigate the global market.
Yeah, makes sense.
Whether you're already a pro at this international business thing,
Right.
or just starting to think about dipping your toes in the global waters.
I like that analogy, dipping your toes.
Well, Anderson, he starts off in a kind of interesting way. He asks, why bother with international business at all?
It's a good question, right? It's easy to get caught up in all the hype,
Absolutely.
about expanding globally.
Yeah.
But he really makes you stop and think, are you doing this for the right reasons?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he outlines 5 key motivators
Yes.
that might get you thinking about taking your business global.
Right, from finding growth beyond your current market to tapping into a larger customer base, that sort of thing.
Yeah. And one that really stood out to me was risk diversification.
Oh, that's a big one.
This idea of not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Right. Geographically speaking?
Yeah, like if your business is spread across multiple countries,
Yeah.
then an economic downturn in one place, it won't be as devastating.
Exactly. It's like diversifying your investment portfolio, but on a global scale.
I like that. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
But before you pack your bags and book that flight,
Hold on.
Anderson throws in a reality check.
Uh-huh.
There's a self-assessment section in the book,
Right.
and he asks some tough questions.
Yeah, like, do you really have the financial resources for this?
Yeah. And it's not just about money.
No, it goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
He wants to know how well you understand the target market.
Right. He makes it very clear that surface level knowledge,
Yeah.
that's not going to cut it.
Definitely not. You need deep cultural insights and a grasp of the nuances of doing business in that specific region.
It's like he's saying, don't underestimate the culture shock.
Oh, absolutely.
You need to be prepared for different business practices,
Yeah.
communication styles, even subtle etiquette differences.
All of that.
Because it's a huge commitment
It is.
in terms of time, energy, and resources.
You're putting a lot on the line.
Yeah. So this self-assessment, it's Anderson's way of making sure you're going into this with eyes wide open.
Absolutely. He doesn't want you to jump in blindly.
Okay, so you've done your soul searching.
All right.
You're financially prepared.
Okay.
And you're ready to embrace a new culture.
Let's do this.
What's next?
Well, then comes the fun part, the legal and regulatory maze.
Oh, boy.
This is where things can get a little tricky,
Yeah.
especially when you're dealing with different countries and all their different legal systems.
Right. And Anderson, he walks you through the different business structures.
Yeah, he does a good job of explaining it all.
Yeah, from sole proprietorships to the complexities of corporations.
It can be overwhelming.
Absolutely. And he really emphasizes the importance of seeking legal counsel.
Yes, because what works in your home country might not fly in your target market.
Exactly.
You need to understand things like tax implications,
Yeah.
labor laws, all the legal nuances of doing business internationally.
And let's not forget intellectual property.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Patents, trademarks,
Yeah.
copyrights.
All that good stuff.
They all function differently across borders.
They do. It can be a minefield.
It really can. You need a solid strategy
Absolutely.
to protect your intellectual property on a global scale.
Right. It's not something you can just ignore.
It's like Anderson saying, don't assume your domestic protection will magically follow you overseas.
Exactly. You need to be proactive.
Yeah.
And understand those specific IP laws
Right.
in each country you're operating in.
So you've tackled the legal jungle.
All right, we made it.
Now what?
Well, now it's time to choose your entry strategy.
Ooh, this is where it gets exciting.
It is. And Anderson lays out a whole bunch of options.
Yeah, he talks about everything from exporting.
Direct, indirect, even through e-commerce platforms.
Yeah. And then there's licensing and franchising agreements.
Right. And for the more adventurous,
Yeah,
he even covers joint ventures.
where you partner with a local company,
Exactly. And establishing wholly owned subsidiaries.
which could mean building from the ground up
With a greenfield investment.
or acquiring an existing company in the target market.
So many choices.
It really is like a menu of global expansion options.
It is. But as Anderson points out,
Yeah,
there's no one-size-fits-all approach.
right. The best strategy depends on your business,
Your goals.
your risk tolerance.
And, of course, the specific market you're entering.
Okay, so speaking of risk,
Uh-oh.
Anderson has a whole section dedicated to risk assessment and mitigation.
He does, because it's important.
It really is.
To think about the potential pitfalls before you dive in head first.
Yeah, and he breaks down risks into different categories.
He does. There's political risk, economic risk, legal risk.
Even risks related to intellectual property.
Right, and he wants you to be aware of those challenges.
Yeah.
So you can develop strategies to address them.
It's about being proactive, not reactive.
Exactly.
And Anderson, he provides frameworks and tools
Yeah.
to help you identify those risks and come up with some solid mitigation strategies.
It's like having a safety net.
So we've assessed the risks.
Okay.
Now what?
Now for the fun part. Marketing your business to the world.
All right, let's talk marketing.
Anderson really emphasizes the importance of crafting an international marketing strategy.
And this is where that key dilemma comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Adaptation versus standardization.
That's a tough one.
Do you tweak your offerings to fit each local market?
Right.
Or do you go for a unified global brand identity?
It's a balancing act.
It really is.
You want your brand to be recognizable and consistent across the globe.
Yeah.
But you also need to consider cultural nuances.
Right.
Local preferences.
Even things like language differences.
Exactly. It can get complicated.
Like, should your packaging look the same everywhere? Or do you need to adapt it to appeal to local tastes?
Those are the questions
Yeah.
that Anderson wants you to think about.
And of course, he highlights the rise of online presence and e-commerce as powerful tools for global reach.
They are. The internet has changed everything.
But he cautions that even in the digital world,
Yeah,
cultural sensitivity still matters.
it does.
Website localization, payment methods,
Even your online marketing campaigns.
all of it needs to be tailored to local preferences.
It's easy to assume that the internet makes everything global and homogenous.
Right.
But that's not the case.
Cultural differences still matter.
They do.
Okay. So speaking of reaching a global audience,
Right.
let's talk about the backbone of international business. Managing your global supply chain.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
This is where things can get really complex.
They can. There are a lot of moving parts.
Anderson dives into sourcing strategies,
Logistics,
risk management,
transportation, inventory management, warehousing.
the whole 9 yards.
It's a lot to keep track of,
And he really emphasizes the importance of having a resilient supply chain.
especially in a world where disruptions are becoming more and more common.
Right. I mean, we've seen how natural disasters,
Political instability.
even something like a global pandemic,
Yeah,
can wreak havoc on global supply chain.
absolutely. It's all interconnected.
So Anderson stresses the importance of using technology for real-time visibility.
And proactive risk assessment.
You need to be able to anticipate and adapt to unexpected challenges,
Absolutely. Things can change quickly.
whether it's a port closure on the other side of the world,
Or a sudden shift in demand.
you got to be ready for anything.
That's the name of the game.
All right, so we've covered the marketing, the supply chain,
Okay.
but what about the financial side of things?
Ah, yes, the money.
How do you make this global dream a reality?
Well, that's where Anderson's chapter on financing comes in.
Okay, tell me more.
He covers a wide range of options, from traditional equity and debt financing to export financing programs.
He even touches on venture capital and crowdfunding.
He does. There are a lot of possibilities.
But he also warns about a major financial risk:
Which is?
currency exchange rates.
Oh, yeah. Those can be a killer.
The value of currencies can fluctuate wildly,
They can. And that can impact your bottom line.
especially when you're dealing with multiple currencies.
It's like playing a financial game of roulette.
And that's where those hedging strategies he mentioned earlier,
Right.
like forward contracts,
Yeah. Those can be helpful.
they can help mitigate that financial roller coaster.
Exactly. They can help you manage the risk.
So we've covered a lot of ground here.
Mm-hmm.
Motivation, self-assessment, legal considerations, market entry strategies.
Marketing, supply chain management, financing.
Phew, I'm exhausted. But, Anderson emphasizes that beyond all this strategic planning and logistics,
Yeah.
international business is fundamentally about something else.
It's about people, right?
It is. It's about building relationships,
Connecting with people from all over the world
understanding their perspective.
and nurturing those relationships over time.
And, this is where your expertise in cultural intelligence really comes in.
I think it's crucial.
Anderson goes beyond just saying build relationships.
Yeah,
He digs into the how-to of cross-cultural communication.
because it's not always easy.
It's not. And it goes way beyond language skills.
It does.
It's about understanding those subtle cultural nuances.
Things like body language, business etiquette.
Even how different cultures approach things like time management.
And decision-making.
Those small details can make or break a deal.
They can.
And Anderson, he provides frameworks and tools to help you navigate those nuances successfully.
It's like a cultural decoder ring.
One of the simplest but most powerful tips he offers is to practice active listening.
Oh, that's a good one.
Really focus on what the other person is saying, both verbally and non-verbally.
Ask clarifying questions.
Make an effort to understand their perspective.
Even if it's different from your own.
Because it's about building trust.
Yeah.
And avoiding those costly misunderstandings.
Which can easily happen.
That can arise from cultural differences.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to the operational side of international business.
Okay.
Anderson covers a lot of ground here, from human resource management.
Like recruiting a global workforce.
Providing cross-cultural training.
Managing expatriates.
Ensuring quality control across borders.
It's a lot to manage.
It is. And he talks about the importance of cultural integration.
Yeah.
Creating a work environment where people from diverse backgrounds feel valued and respected.
That's essential.
And he introduces this concept of building cultural intelligence.
Which goes beyond just awareness.
Yeah. It's about actively understanding and respecting different ways of working and interacting.
It's a journey.
It really is. It's not enough to simply acknowledge that different cultures exist.
No.
You need to be willing to engage with those differences in a meaningful way.
It requires a shift in mindset from my way is the right way
to a more open and curious approach.
Exactly. You have to be willing to learn.
Because in the global marketplace, the ability to connect with people from different backgrounds, that's a superpower.
It is. It's a huge advantage.
Okay, so Anderson reminds us that risk is an inherent part of international business.
It is. There's no way around it.
But he tackles it from a proactive perspective this time.
He does.
He dives into how to identify and mitigate all sorts of risks.
From political and economic instability
to legal challenges.
And intellectual property theft.
He really wants you to be prepared for anything.
He does, because the global landscape can be unpredictable.
And he circles back to a key theme.
What's that?
Adaptability.
Oh, that's so important.
In the ever-changing world of international business.
Yeah.
What worked yesterday
might not work tomorrow.
You got to be able to adjust.
Absolutely. You have to be agile.
Successful companies are the ones that can learn
from their own experiences
and the experiences of others
to continuously adjust their strategies
and stay ahead of the curve.
It's all about evolution.
All right, so we've laid a solid foundation with risk management and cultural intelligence.
Key pillars.
Now comes the exciting part.
What's that?
Scaling and growing your international business.
Yes, taking it to the next level.
Anderson talks about strategically expanding into new markets.
Diversifying your product portfolio.
Even considering mergers and acquisitions.
It's about thinking big.
He stresses the importance of not just chasing opportunities randomly, but having a clear strategic growth plan.
That aligns with your overall business goals.
It's about being intentional and thoughtful about your expansion.
Not just throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks.
And finally, Anderson wraps things up with a chapter on learning from both triumphs and trip-ups.
I like that.
He shares real-world case studies.
Like the Starbucks example we talked about earlier.
Yeah, which illustrates how a company can successfully navigate cultural differences.
While still maintaining brand consistency.
And then there's the cautionary tale of Nokia's decline in the mobile phone market.
Oof, that's a tough one.
It's a reminder that even industry giants can stumble.
If they fail to adapt to changing market dynamics.
These case studies bring the concepts to life.
They do.
And show how international business plays out in the real world.
With all its complexities and opportunities.
So we've taken a whirlwind tour through Anderson's comprehensive guide to international business.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but it's incredibly valuable.
It is. It's packed with practical advice, real-world examples, and frameworks.
To help you navigate the complexities of the global marketplace.
It's like a roadmap to success.
But beyond the technicalities, I think it also instills a sense of confidence.
Yeah.
International business can seem daunting.
It can.
But with the right knowledge and preparation, anyone can succeed.
Absolutely. It's all about having the right mindset.
It all starts with taking that first step.
Even if it's a small one.
Maybe it's exploring export opportunities.
Attending an international trade show.
Or even just connecting with someone from another culture.
Who works in your industry.
The key is to get started, to gain experience, and to build your confidence as you go.
And don't be afraid to ask for help along the way.
There are so many resources available to businesses looking to expand internationally.
From government agencies and trade organizations.
To consultants and mentors.
You don't have to go it alone.
And as you embark on your international business journey, remember the power of storytelling.
Storytelling?
Yeah. Your story is what sets you apart from the competition.
It's what makes you unique.
It connects you with your audience.
And inspires them to join you on your mission.
So think about your why.
Your purpose.
What drives you? What impact do you want to make on the world?
Those are powerful questions.
Because when you connect with your why, your story becomes infused with passion and authenticity.
And that's what resonates with people.
It's what makes them want to be part of your journey.
So embrace the challenge.
Be open to new experiences.
And never stop learning.
The world is waiting for your unique contribution.
Go out there and make a difference. You know what else I really liked about the book?
What's that?
How Anderson uses all these real-world case studies.
Oh yeah, those were great.
It's one thing to learn about these concepts in theory.
Right.
But seeing them play out in real business situations,
Yeah.
that's what really brings it home.
Absolutely. It's like he's saying, okay, here's the textbook version,
Yeah.
but let's see how this stuff actually works.
In the real world.
Like with the Starbucks example.
Oh, that was a good one.
It's amazing how they've adapted their menu and their stores,
To different cultures.
while still keeping that core brand identity
They found that balance.
between adaptation and standardization.
Exactly. It's a delicate balance.
And it's not just the success stories.
Right.
He also includes those cautionary tales.
Like Nokia.
Which reminds us that even the big guys can stumble
If they don't adapt,
and innovate.
it's a tough world out there.
It is. You can't just rest on your laurels.
No, you got to keep moving.
What I appreciate is that Anderson ties those case studies back to the main points of the book.
He does. It's all connected.
He shows how those concepts play out.
In real-life situations.
And that's what makes this book so valuable.
I agree.
It's not just theory, it's practical advice.
You can actually use this stuff.
It's like having an international business mentor.
Guiding you along the way.
And speaking of guidance, Anderson doesn't just tell you what to do.
He goes a step further.
He points you to where you can find more information.
He gives you resources.
Tools to help you on your international journey.
Like a toolkit for global business success.
He lists international business associations,
Government trade agencies.
market research, databases.
Even a reading list.
It's like he's anticipating your questions,
And saying, here's where you can find the answers.
which is so important
It is.
because international business is complex.
And it's always changing.
You can't possibly know everything.
But you need to know where to find the information you need.
And Anderson equips you with that knowledge.
He does a great job of that.
You know, beyond the practical stuff,
Yeah.
there's a personal growth element to all this.
Okay.
Expanding your business globally.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about profits.
It's about expanding your horizons.
Exactly. It forces you to step outside your comfort zone,
To embrace different cultures.
to see the world in a new way,
It's a journey of growth.
both personally and professionally.
You're not just building a global business.
You're building a global mindset.
And that can have a huge impact on your life.
It opens your mind to new possibilities,
New ways of thinking.
new ways of solving problems.
And it connects you with people from all over
It enriches your network.
in ways you never imagined.
It's about embracing the unknown,
Being open to new experiences.
learning from every interaction, turning those potential culture clashes.
Into opportunities for growth.
And speaking of growth, let's talk about cultural intelligence.
Oh, yeah, that's a crucial one.
We've touched on it throughout our conversation.
It's essential for success.
In the global marketplace, it's not just a nice to have.
It's a must-have.
It's about moving beyond awareness of cultural differences,
to actively understanding and respecting those differences.
knowing how to communicate effectively,
How to build trust.
how to navigate those inevitable cultural bumps
It's a skill you can develop.
over time.
It starts with curiosity
Openness, being genuinely interested in other cultures,
and active listening,
paying attention to verbal and nonverbal cues,
asking questions,
making sure you understand their perspective. It's about challenging your own assumptions,
and biases,
seeing the world through a different lens,
and embracing diversity as a strength.
recognizing that different perspectives can lead to better solutions.
It's about collaboration.
You know, speaking of cultural intelligence,
Yeah.
Anderson tells this story in his book
Oh, I remember that one.
about a company trying to launch a product.
In a new market.
They did their research.
Had a marketing plan.
They were confident it would be a hit.
But it flopped.
What happened?
They overlooked a cultural nuance.
Oh,
The
real?
color of their packaging, it
Yeah.
was considered unlucky in that culture.
So people avoided it.
It's amazing how those little details can matter.
It's like the butterfly effect.
But in the business world,
It shows the importance of having people on your team.
who understand the local culture,
They can help you avoid those costly mistakes.
it's all about having a diverse team
With different perspectives and experiences
and creating a company culture
that values diversity.
where everyone feels comfortable sharing their ideas.
Because that's where innovation comes from.
When you have that kind of inclusivity
You can see opportunities you might have missed
and develop better solutions,
in your global audience,
that's what leads to success.
in international business.
It's not just about making money,
It's about making a positive impact,
building bridges across cultures,
fostering understanding and collaboration.
creating a more connected world.
I like that.
It's a powerful vision.
It is. And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay,
I want to leave our listener with a final thought.
what's that?
It's don't forget to have fun.
Fun.
Yeah, like enjoy the journey.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's easy to get bogged down in all the challenges.
Right, all the complexities.
But you're experiencing new cultures,
Meeting new people.
creating something truly unique.
It should be an adventure.
Exactly. It shouldn't feel like a chore.
Definitely not.
It should energize you,
Challenge you.
fulfill you.
And that passion
It'll shine through.
in everything you do.
People will see it.
And they'll want to work with you.
So don't be afraid to let your personality shine through.
Be yourself.
Connect with people.
Build those relationships.
And it's okay to make mistakes.
Everyone does.
The important thing is to learn from them, adapt, and keep moving forward.
It's a journey, not a destination. There will be bumps in the road,
Detours.
unexpected challenges.
But that's part of the fun.
And the rewards are worth it.
They are.
You're not just building a business.
You're building a legacy.
Something that can make a difference in the world.
That's inspiring.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay?
I want to leave you with this.
Right.
Knowledge is power,
We've heard that before.
but knowledge without action.
Yeah.
It's like a ship without sails.
It's not going anywhere.
It's time to set sail.
On your global adventure.
Take that first step.
Even a small one.
Explore those export opportunities.
Attend that trade show.
Connect with someone from another culture.
The world is waiting.
For your unique contribution,
And maybe someday.
we'll be featuring your story on The Deep Dive.
Until then,
Keep learning.
keep growing
Keep exploring.
the world of international business.
Thanks for joining us.
And as always,
Happy navigating.